Hey guys, Valhalla back for another video. Yay, you're excited, I'm excited. Of course you're excited, of course you're excited. It's gonna be epic as always. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, whatever time it is. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, something that I see a lot that really confuses me in so many parenting groups. I don't know why this is a debate or why it's controversial, but teaching your kids, right, about body parts. Moms coming on there absolutely just beside themselves over what to tell their kids about, their penis or their vagina or breasts or, butts and absolutely digging their heels in and freaking out over the thought of actually teaching their child to say like penis or vagina. Wanting to know what they should tell them. You should tell them they have penis or a vagina, that it's like, what would you tell them about their elbow or their chin or their toes? You're just adding an element of shame that doesn't need to be there. And now, yes, little kids through just the fact that their speech isn't always the greatest will mispronounce things, and it's very cute, and that's all fine and good. You need to make sure they understand what their body parts are actually called, not only because, dear God, just a practicality factor from the but also apparently that's a big deterrent for or it makes it not that it's a deterrent for childhood sexual abuse, but that it makes it because a lot of times abusers will use nicknames and euphemisms, and they won't actually use proper terms for genitalia, and your kid needs to be able to say exactly what happened and where. But aside from that, teaching them not to say what teaching them not to use the proper terminology, it does really infer this sense of shame. You shouldn't say that. That's not okay. Whether you mean that or not, it really implies that, instead of, what are some really, you hear some really odd ones. I'm just like, you thought that sounded better than like vulva or vagina or penis. But especially for mothers of little girls, a big one is they say monkey instead of like vulva or vagina. Y'all, I'm not. No. And then you get into like vajayjay, stuff like that. I'm like, I'm a grown woman. I'll say it to my friends, tee hee hee, vajayjay, but we all know, that we have vaginas. One that I saw a lot after, and this has been years ago, but when Scrubs was on, and Dr. Elliot, she was very much a prude about such matters, and she would say bajingo. And so that's when I heard a lot, bajingo. just say vagina. Just say vulva, you know, teach them what they have. Like, I don't see why that is such a big struggle, like why it's such a problem or a controversy that people would have over. And then one argument that I see a lot is that, well, it just sounds vulgar. Okay, put your pearls down. It's not vulgar to say vagina. That's not a problem. That's a problem with you, and you have to deal with that for everyone's benefit. And even if you can't bring yourself to say that, you need to make sure that your kids can. I just don't get it. Maybe because of what my major was when I was in college, maybe because, and it's not because I grew up, it's definitely not the environment I grew up in. That was just something that wasn't discussed, and, you know, when you hit puberty, you know, got a book with pictures of flowers and a talk from the preacher to never do anything. So, you know, it definitely wasn't the environment, but it was just what I felt like my kids deserve better. You know, they shouldn't, like, I didn't want my daughters to think they were, you know, dying when they got their periods. So I just felt like it was better to keep, you know, keep things just, I don't even want to say open and honest, just keep them as they are. Just not try to hide anything or make it seem weird. It's just body parts. Like, they're just body parts. And, you know, of course my kids got, because my oldest was almost 5 when my second was born. So most of my kids have gotten to see me, you know, they've got to watch me be pregnant and have a baby, and, you know, obviously with that comes the questions of where do babies come from, and I was just always, like, really honest, and, you know, it's what your genitals are for, dude. Like, that's, you know, because at their age I kept it pretty basic, but, you know, proper terminology. And that's another thing, if they're old enough to ask you where babies come from, just you don't gotta, like, pop in a porno, you don't gotta be ridiculous about it. You can just be like, you know, penis, vagina. None of this special cuddle crap that, you know, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, they talk to a priest who talks to the stork. Sex. Now, I get that, obvious, you know, and especially if you're part of a queer couple or you're a single parent, then things are obviously, the explanation is different, but you can give them an explanation that's, you know, trust me, they'll get bored quick. They're little kids. They don't want details. They just want to know that you'll give them an answer, and then they're going to run off and ask for some SpaghettiOs and for you to put on, like, you know, Masha and the Bear or something. They really, it's a way, you make it a way bigger deal than it's ever going to be to them. So your reaction kind of sets the tone for how your interactions are going to be for the rest of your life. So if you can just be chill and not freak out about something as basic as, like, you know, genitals or sex or babies or pregnancy, you're going to have a way easier time when the big stuff comes along, because trust me, it gets bigger. So, and it gets harder to remain so calm about, so you just have to do it. You just practice now by teaching your kids to call their genitals by their proper names. Yeah, so, you know, that's it for tonight. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, what do you think about this issue? I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.